Everyone, you tried yesterday's examples, huh? So yesterday we learnt about how to handle Ajax request using JavaScript and JavaScript methods we learned. Yep. So last session we learnt about JavaScript Ajax methods. how to handle them. And in JavaScript, Ajax methods, XML, HTTP request, another is what? Fetch. We discussed about these two, how to handle fetch promise. So what is difference between these two? I hope everyone understood. So what is difference? XML HTTP is by default it is synchronous and fetch is asynchronous. And XML HTTP requires a lot of request status and methods to verify, to execute, but promise provides simple techniques for handling the request. Now, what the problem with promise? So we have these two methods learnt already. I hope you practiced them. Huh? So now the question here is, what are the issues with the fetch? What are the issues with the fetch promise? So we used a fetch promise and promise existed we saw. What issues with the issues with fetch promise? First important is it returns data in binary format. That means any data is returned in binary format. What is the point? You have to parse the data explicitly. By using external methods, we need to parse the data. We need to translate the data by using external techniques. Another important is, so we have coarse issue. Coarse issues. Coarse issue is actually cross-origin resource sharing. So what is the point about coarse is, actually it allows only get request. It will not allow to post or put or delete or do any another type of operation on API. Fetch is only for fetching. So it will not allow any another. Coarse means you can control different requests. You can design in such a way that get is allowed, post is not allowed. You can design in such a way that post is allowed, delete is not allowed. We can control by using coarse. In your server-side technologies, in APIs, you will learn how this coarse is written. Coarse is nothing but it allows to restrict the methods. Actually, get method, post method, anyone can access. There is no restriction. But coarse allows to set restriction. And here we don't have any another request. It allows only which request? Get request. It allows only the get request. Next important here is, so it is not good in handling. It is not good in handling two options. One is excess RF and excesses. Already I explained this point. So this is actually cross-site request forgery. Cross-site request forgery and cross-site scripting attacks. These are another important security issues you will face in web application. So fetch is not good in all these. And these are very important security concepts required for working with APIs in real time. Web applications always face the problem of cross-site request forgery. It is cross-site request forgery and a cross-site scripting attacks. Already we discussed and we learned about these two methods. No need to explain anything about it. So already we learned, usually you already learned in JavaScript. Here just I repeated one more time again. So in React how to do. But what are these cross-site request forgery, cross-site scripting attacks you will later learn while working with your technologies server side. Here to explain them, you need an example with backend. Then you can understand these kind of concepts. Initially, I will tell one simple point. Cross-site request forgery means any website can make a forgery of your request. They can post data from their application into your application. That means some other applications can post data into your applications. That is not good. We need to prevent that. That is generally called as what? Cross-site request forgery. Later, when you learn server-side APIs and all, you will understand all these techniques. So your technologies will teach you what they are, how to handle them. And because they are related to API, you need to understand back-end, front-end combination. In later examples, you'll see them. So the major issues with fetch is this. Fetch will return in a binary format. We have to convert it. And it have cors. It allows only get. Yesterday already we designed one example for that. And in that example, we implemented this fetch. In this example, we already implemented the fetch. And already we know how to handle this. Now, to overcome the issues like fetch, you can also use jQuery Ajax. We can also use jQuery Ajax. So in web applications, for handling Ajax, jQuery is very popular. Till React, Angular like technologies came into market, even today, Ajax means jQuery. That means all web applications across all technologies, they handle Ajax by using what? jQuery. Even today, jQuery is popular in handling Ajax for Java, .NET, any technology in the world. But now the other technologies are providing better solutions, better options. So React, Angular, they have their own libraries, third parties. So usage of jQuery Ajax little bit reduced now. But even today, for any web developer, Ajax means jQuery because it provides good features. It provides better functionalities. But we have more better than jQuery now. That's the reason we are ignoring jQuery because jQuery is also a library. Earlier web application means in the front end, we use jQuery. You learn JavaScript, but do you know you never use JavaScript in real time? You know that? Surprising, huh? You learn JavaScript. You will never use JavaScript in real time directly. You will use only jQuery. JavaScript is a language required for jQuery. In real world projects, you will not use JavaScript anywhere. Anywhere JavaScript is not used. Document get element by ID, query selector, document write inner HTML. No, nothing. There is no JavaScript used in any real world application, only jQuery. Now jQuery is being replaced with React, Angular, Vue, so many other libraries. So earlier front-end web application means HTML, CSS, not JavaScript, jQuery. So JavaScript is never used in real time directly. But the jQuery is a library whose language is JavaScript. So without JavaScript, you are not a web developer. But without JavaScript, there is no interview. But you will never use JavaScript. We will always use these technologies. So jQuery is a JavaScript library. Same like React, it is also JavaScript library. I already in the beginning itself explained you drawbacks of JavaScript and jQuery when compared to React. So no need to explain. Already we learned that. We discussed what are the issues with JavaScript and jQuery and why we use React. Already that concept explained in the class. So jQuery is a JavaScript library. And what is the main concept of jQuery is? So it provides various Ajax methods to handle async requests. So it provides various Ajax methods to handle asynchronous requests. So actually, when compared to this JavaScript have fetch and XML HTTP. When compared to that, jQuery actually returns data directly in the native format of source. That means if you are accessing data from a JSON, it will directly return JSON. If you are interacting with XML, it will return XML. If you are using HTML, it will use HTML. That means in which format data is present, in the same format it returns. That is the specialty of jQuery Ajax. So what is advantage now? It doesn't require explicit parsing. It doesn't require explicit parsing of data. Not required. It will return the data in the same format how it works. So how data is present in the source, in the same format it is going to return. So you don't need any explicit parsing. Another important is it provides various life cycle methods that allow to track the request. So it is good in error handling. That means it is good in error handling when compared to fetch, but not very great. It is better than fetch in error handling. But what is the specialty here is it will directly return the data. Explicit conversions are not required. That's important. Another problem is same. Actually, here also coarse excess RF. So and cross-site scripting attacks have issues. That means they have limited. Another important is you cannot cancel the requests anywhere. Once a request is made, there is no possibility of canceling. There is no chance. That you will see regularly. When you are doing any money transactions in your apps, phone pay, Paytm, or bank applications, everybody uses Ajax. What is the main drawback is you see that you send money, you can't cancel. That means it is processing. You cannot cancel. Either you have to finish or wait until it responds. There is no canceling. Have you observed your phone pay, Paytm? No cancels. That means in between you want to cancel the transaction, no chance. Once the request is gone, it's gone. There is no chance of canceling. That means that is one big drawback of Ajax. But this is one issue. Course issues, XSRF issues, they are limited. That means little bit better when compared to fetch, but not great. Still we have issues with them. These are the major problems with the jQuery Ajax, but it is good when compared to fetch and XML HTTP. But internally, this also uses XML HTTP. Every technology in the browser have to use XML HTTP, but directly we don't use it. We use fetch, which will use internally XML. We use jQuery Ajax, which internally uses. So that is one point about Ajax. So here, when compared to other techniques, this is better. And React can use this library also. React can use a jQuery library for handling. Actually, jQuery Ajax methods. So we have like get JSON. We have like Ajax. These are the Ajax methods it have. By using this, we can implement. How the Ajax works, we will see. First step, what we have to do, install jQuery for your project. So for your project, you have to install jQuery because jQuery is a special library you have to install. And it's a separate library. npm install jQuery and save. That is the first thing you have to do. npm install jQuery. We have to install jQuery. I hope you people still haven't learned any jQuery like concepts. So you may not have any awareness on that, but usually front-end developers, full stack developers, they need knowledge of jQuery for real world projects. A full stack developer, front-end developer means jQuery is compulsory actually. Many people say that it is not important, React is important or Angular is important, but out of 180 companies will be using jQuery. React and Angular are limited because these are now making the market. Already complete web is occupied with jQuery already. So we are looking for 2-3 years experience at Java full stack, .NET full stack, web UI full stack developer means jQuery must be there in resume. Otherwise, we don't call him. A Java full stack or a .NET full stack or a Python full stack or any full stack developer without jQuery and puts 1-2 years experience, no calls. We don't call him because it's mandatory to have knowledge of jQuery. JavaScript, okay, but we don't work on JavaScript directly. We use jQuery. So that is important. So you can see here, suppose different opportunities you will see. Suppose in Naukri, you are searching for full stack developer, Java full stack developer. So full stack developer, any full stack developer, you are searching for any full stack developer. In the several requirements of full stack developer, so means little experience. companies will ask the knowledge of jQuery very much. These all we need to go detail. So we need to go detail of this. So then you will find in the highlights they given only few. We can search specially jQuery. Okay. Means it will filter only that. And you see in the requirements, means you see the requirements. See, this is a React.js full stack developer. You see React.js full stack consultant, Infosys, and they are asking jQuery. And that's what we said, experienced people. For experienced people, it's mandatory. And Infosys is asking for jQuery. And his job is React. Right? Why they need them? Because they need to migrate from jQuery to React. Because all their applications existing are in jQuery. They need to change that to React. Then they should have knowledge of both. That means whenever you look for the full stack developers detailedly, when you go into that, everywhere you will see jQuery will be there. You will see less JavaScript. You will see more jQuery instead of JavaScript, because the real-time projects uses what? jQuery. They uses jQuery. So first you have to install jQuery. After that, jQuery library is accessed in any component using a dollar reference. So what you have to do is import dollar from jQuery. You have to import dollar from jQuery. The complete jQuery library is present in dollar. Through this dollar reference, you can access complete jQuery. jQuery library reference is dollar. Under this reference, all jQuery methods are present. Actually, the intention of jQuery is jQuery started in 2006. jQuery started in 2006. John Resig, he developed the concept of jQuery, and it's a revolution in web now. Everywhere we use this jQuery, and what is the main intention is, it came with a slogan, write less, do more. In JavaScript, you write 50 lines that jQuery can write in 5 lines. That means jQuery can write less and do the same what JavaScript does. That's the reason in real world projects we use jQuery only. Because what JavaScript do, another problem is jQuery reduces compatibility problems. According to browser, it can adjust. And usually JavaScript have compatibility issues. So jQuery don't have that. jQuery comes with this concept. So this is the official jQuery website. And you see the main slogan of jQuery. jQuery comes with write less, do more. That is the main slogan of jQuery. So that is the key point of jQuery. Lengthy, complex operations also you can simply manage. Very less code. That usually you will learn when you have an awareness on that jQuery concept. Here I'm not teaching jQuery. We are just using jQuery related Ajax method here. So import jQuery, then create Ajax request. How do we create Ajax request? $.ajax. Ajax have some attributes. First attribute, we have a method. It can be get, or post or put or delete like methods you can have. It have URL. URL is the API URL. So we have data. So this is data to submit. If you are submitting data, we have success. It's a function. On success, we have error. So this is a function that on error. On failure, it will return that error. These are basic Ajax related options you have to use. jQuery Ajax can be handled by using a Ajax method. And this Ajax method can handle different requests, URL. If you are submitting like post or put or delete, you use the data. On success, on error. And important is actually, so on success, Ajax returns data in a native format. Ajax return data in native format. Native format means JSON or XML or text or HTML. In which format the data is present, it returns in that format. So you can directly access and use the data. So that is how the Ajax method works. Let's see how to use jQuery Ajax in React. For that, I will already we designed yesterday's example. I will remove this code of fetch in load product method. Then again, your data is empty. There is nothing to display here. It's empty again. Okay, let's make an Ajax call using jQuery. Yesterday we saw XML, HTTP and fetch. For jQuery, first open the terminal. In one terminal already project is running. Open another terminal and npm install what? jQuery. You download and install jQuery. After installing jQuery, it's installed. We have to import jQuery library. Import dollar from where we have to import from jQuery. Now through that dollar, we can access jQuery library Ajax method. What are the Ajax method settings? Ajax method have first method. Method is what? Get, because we need to fetch the data. And from where to get URL? URL is, what is it? Product.json. And we have success. On success, a callback function. This will get what? Response. Let's see what is that response. We will log the response and see. I will log the response and just see what is the response. And you see in inspect. So in the console, so you see here it is showing some option. You see response is there. Response is there. This is some error. Empty string is passed in an attribute src. That may be an error. Empty string is nothing but where we used src. So image source na. Here still data is not there. That is only the warning it is giving. It's fine. The data will come now because already response is returning the data. And actually this response is directly data. So that means response is directly an object na. Am I right? that is an object directly. So this response is an object. So I will make this object name. It is returning what object? It is returning product. And we will display the product actually. Where to put this? In what? Set product, send this product. That means it is stored in our state. Now the data is ready. That means you can see the data is ready and everything is fine. Everything is fine. So usually here the SRC attribute having an issue that is related to hook. This is not an error. This is just a warning. These warnings will be removed once you get the data from the APIs really and you implement them. As of now, you can see the data is fine. And this time the data is coming from which one? Ajax. By using jQuery Ajax, we are fetching the data and displaying. So we have three techniques: XML HTTP, another fetch, another one jQuery Ajax. Fetch is better than the XML, and Ajax, jQuery Ajax is better than fetch. But React don't wants to use jQuery every time because jQuery is like a React library. And we are using React to avoid jQuery. And again, you are borrowing Ajax from jQuery. In some companies, we still do this. But in some companies, we have more better than jQuery Ajax. More better than jQuery Ajax. Let's see how to do that. So on success, it returns the format. And what you have to do is you can use the response data directly in component. Response data in directly in component. So example is this. We will put an example. This is Flipkart mobile dot what JSX. Let me copy this. So the same example for all the three examples, data is same. Data yesterday copied now. Yesterday given the data I shared in the Google Classroom. Everyone got it right? Right. So there I already shared the data. So every time I am not sharing the data. Data is product JSON. Already in previous class you have that. And this time we have to access by using Ajax. Now what are the issues with Ajax? jQuery Ajax you already know. Now what is the solution is? Are there any more better than jQuery Ajax? Yes. What you can do is we can use third party Ajax libraries. Third party Ajax libraries. So in React, according to your requirement and situation, you can use anything you want. There is no restriction. So sometimes directly they use fetch or directly they use XML HTTP. Sometimes they are not satisfied with those features. They go with third party. Actually, React can use various third party libraries to handle Ajax requests. Ajax requests. So the popular third party for React are, we have Axios. So we have what WG fetch. What WG fetch. We have React Relay. We have like Redux React, Ajax. We can use so many. We can use so many. There are so many third parties. And remember, hundreds of third parties are present. Sometimes what your companies do is they build their own third party, their own library. And when you Google, you will never find it anywhere in Google. Why? Because it is specially designed by your project people. You will learn how to create our own such libraries. You saw use state, na? Use state is what? It is a hook. You saw use effect. Use effect is what? It is a hook. We can create our own hooks according to our requirements. Like that, many companies, what they do is they create their own third party library. And by using that library, they implement the functionality. So most popular to everyone, known to everyone, these are third parties. Actually, where you will get third parties, some are paid, some are free. The popular third parties, you also have Telerik. Telerik is a popular third party. Actually, they are paid services. You see Telerik. Telerik is a third party. This is Telerik. This Telerik is used by so many people. You see the customers of Telerik. You see NASA, Microsoft, IBM are customers of Telerik. That means you may be wondering like why IBM, Microsoft are customers of Telerik. They have genius developers. They have softwares. They have their own products. And they are buying software from these people. Not buying software, they are buying code from these people. That means Microsoft can ask their developers to build, they will build. IBM can ask their developers to build, they can build. Then why they are buying from these people? That means Microsoft, IBM are buying logic, code from these people. It is too costly also, but still companies buy. So in many projects, when you go to companies, they ask, do you have any knowledge of Telerik? Because some companies are particularly using this Telerik. Why they buy? Because Microsoft is already building so many things. It is already busy with their existing products. And for every reason, they can't ask their developers to build. They will simply say that somebody is good in building it, let him build. We will borrow from him and use. We will not waste time again. For example, you are using phones. Your mobile phone company is Samsung or Realme or MI or OnePlus, but the camera in that is built by Sony. You know, right? You have a car, Bench or Audi, but the audio system is Bose, JBL. No Bench audio system. Right? Bench like company, after all, they can't build a audio system. They will ask, why should I build? Already somebody is doing it. He is better in that. Let him do. We will just borrow from him. We can't involve in every business. Software development is also same. They can't involve in everything. Somebody is doing, let him do. He is good in that. Let him do. We will borrow from him. We will not waste time in involving everything. That is why third parties are important. And the React third parties, free and paid are there. You want free, then you can visit this website. You can search www.npmjs.com. This is the Node Package Manager official website. Here you can go and search for free libraries. They will provide so many free libraries. You can know about them, you can download them, and you can use them in your project. For example, see, let's open this npm.js. This is npm.js. Node Package Manager official. In this, you search for what you want, React, which methods you want, Ajax. Then it will show you so many libraries related to React Ajax. So you see React Organism, React Ajax, and you see React Bootstrap Editable, prop types, React Reloader, so many are there. React Ajax, hundreds of examples will come. You can use any, but usually developers don't trust simply any, because I downloaded some library and I used it and it is having some technical problems, then your project have issues now. That's the reason what developers do. Based on ratings, reviews, they read the documentation, which one have which issues. Those issues does matter us in our project. We will check all of them and we will implement. Like that, one popular library for React people for handling Ajax is which one? Axios. Another one is WG, React Relay. These are some popular and trusted and good features. And that's the reason worldwide people use this. It's not guarantee that every company uses this. It depends. But once you can use one library, other libraries you have to explore by yourself. If your company is using a different library, you have to explore and you have to know about that library. So let's see how to use this. So what we are going to do is we are going to use Axios for Ajax in React. So we are going to use Axios for Ajax in React. Now, why many people trust this? Why many people trust this? What is good about Axios? What are the features about Axios? What are the main features about Axios is, so it is promise based. What is meant by promise based? Fetch is also promise based. Promise based means it is async by default. Promise based means it is async by default. Another important is it can handle multiple requests simultaneously at the same time. So it is good in error handling. It provides better features to manage CORS, XSRF, and cross-site scripting attacks. Better features to manage all this. It can handle multiple requests. It is good in error handling. It is asynchronous. And it doesn't require explicit parsing. It doesn't require explicit parsing. That is another important. These are the key features of Axios. When compared to others, it is better. And what is the major specialty is it is built for React. jQuery and others are not built for React. If it is built for React, it uses virtual DOM. That is better. So it is more faster. And jQuery Ajax and fetch and XML HTTP, they don't use virtual DOM. They use what? Actual DOM. Because you know already in JavaScript, XML HTTP belongs to which object? Window. Fetch also belongs to which object? Window. And window is a direct DOM object. And React actually don't use actual DOM. What it uses? It uses the virtual DOM. It uses virtual DOM. So this is good for React. Others are not using virtual DOM. Unfortunately, fetch is window actual DOM, and XML HTTP also actual DOM, and the jQuery Ajax also actual DOM. But this is designed for virtual DOM, so it is good for React. You can see. So in this website, npm.js, we will search for Axios. And you see Axios, this is found. I will open this Axios. You see, this is Axios. And what they say about Axios, let's go to their features, what they say. They say that it makes an XML HTTP request from browser. As I already told you, everybody have to use this XML HTTP. Any technology Ajax means it should use this, because directly browser can understand only this. I showed you how to directly use this, but fetch, Axios, everybody uses this, and it is make HTTP requests from Node.js. That means server side Ajax also it supports. That's good. Actually, you are currently using client side Ajax. It supports server side Ajax. Very good. And you don't need to know that, because that is for people who learn server side Node.js. And you see it is promise based API. And it intercept request and response, means internally converts everything. And it transforms the data into the format you want. Very great feature. This is what important. It can cancel requests. Good, because many Ajax don't have that facility. It can cancel requests. Automatic transforms JSON. Okay. It supports XSRF. That's also good. That's what important is. One thing they haven't mentioned in features, but in real time people are very much interested in, that is, at a time it can make multiple requests. They haven't mentioned here, because this documentation is also designed by some developer, and you cannot expect everything here. That means this document is designed by some developer like us. That means sometimes he may miss some points. Sometimes he may give a wrong syntax also. You can't blindly follow these notes. You have to check according to the requirements. As a developer, we don't blindly follow the documentation, whatever they written there. Sometimes their syntaxes may go wrong. Then we have to learn and know the errors what they are giving, and according to that we should be able to correct by ourselves. Because these third parties, one problem with third parties is they are built by developers like you. Due to that, some issues will be there, and you have to resolve the issues by your own in your projects, because nobody will help you in that. You have to find where is error. You need to identify how to resolve the error, and you need to manage, which you will learn gradually while learning the technology. And see, one of the main feature they have given, it cancels the request. Cancel the request. That is what they have given. And how we can make this? So first, what we have to do, install Axios for project. npm install Axios and save. Second point is you have to import Axios into component. So we have to import Axios from Axios. We have to import Axios from Axios. Right. Next important is, after that you have to configure Axios request. We can configure Axios request in a simple way. Actually, what you can do, we can use Axios.get, and it uses the URL. That means from where you want to get. And it is promise based. And you know, in JavaScript, every promise based will have three methods. Then, catch, and finally. Any JavaScript promise contains three. Then, catch, finally. That means what we do, dot then, it will get response on success. And we have, so another one is what? Catch. It will get an error. And we have finally. Finally will execute always. Finally execute always. So that is how we have to do. And one more speciality is actually response returns various details, like it will return details like status code, like status text, like data. It will return so many details like headers. Actually, in jQuery, response is returning only data. Directly data will be returned. But here not, response is not just data. Response contains lot of details. Response status code. You know status codes, no? In HTML, JavaScript, you learn status codes. 200 for what? Okay. 404 for not found. Am I right? Code means only numbers will come. 200, 404 like that. Status text means okay, not found, like that it will get. Data means the data. Data will be XML or what, JSON or text or HTML, whatever data is. Header means request details will come. Request details will come. Request and response details will come. Response details will come. Request response detail means, is it get request, is it post request, what type of data is coming as response, everything detail information about the request and response is present in headers. Now in this we need only this one. What we need? Data. Whatever data coming from file, we have to use the data. So let's do this and see. So this time we are using jQuery Ajax, we already done. Now we are using Axios for handling the requests. Let's see how it does. So let's remove this code. So I will remove this code here. This is the Ajax. Okay. jQuery not required now. Okay. And you see again the page is currently empty. Let's use Axios. So I will open the terminal, install npm, install what? Axios, and save. So we are downloading and installing Axios. Okay. Once we install Axios, now we need to import Axios. Import Axios from Axios. Already in JavaScript, you know why for some libraries we are using import braces, and why for some libraries we are not using braces. You already learnt in JavaScript. Why we are not having a curly brace here? Because in JavaScript, if it is marked as what? Default. Default export means you don't need to use the parenthesis. Directly you can define. That's JavaScript modules, you know. Now, how do we access this? Now we have to use Axios.which method? Get. Axios have all methods: get, post, put, delete for different actions. Get from which location? URL is what? Product.json. After that, dot what? Then we'll get an response. And actually response have a lot of details. In that details, we need only data. As I told you, let's see console log, see the response and observe. When I open the response, you can see that in the console, the response contains an object, and see response object contains so many details. It have configuration, it have data, it have headers, it have request, status text. So many details. In this, we want only this one. What we want? Data. So what we will do now, we will put that response data in set product. Set product, what is it? Response dot data. Now ready, and you can see all the data is coming. And already we know, if I go to the JSON and change this to what? White, and it is 128 GB, and the price is 264, and rating is 4.8. Some changes we are making, then automatically it will reflect there. Image also we have to change na. iPhone what? White, and it is going to change. This time we are using the best method for React. And why Axios is best? Because it is a virtual DOM method, and it is very easily understandable to React and faster when compared to others we have learned. But all you should know, this is the best, but all you should know. Why? Because depends on project requirement. In some places they use jQuery, in some places they use fetch, in some places they use XML HTTP. But the best one is Axios. By using Axios, you can manage the request and handle the request. So this is another example. Same, what is it? Flipkart mobile dot what? JSX. I will copy this and I will paste. And important, not data. This is the logic, okay? Here we are using Axios for fetching. And actually, we have only one object. Let's take little more complex data. More complex data means, suppose many objects are there, then how we can present? If there are many objects, array, then how we can create the presentation? This is okay. And here the data is very simple. It is a simple object. Let's take little complex data and let's see how we can present the data. For example, now let's take one example coming from real time. What we will do is, let's go to this. We have a website, api.nasa.gov. This is NASA API's website. Actually, NASA people provided this domain only for software developers. That means if you are a software developer, may belong to any technology, you are interested in building apps related to space, science, technology, then they have data for you. They say that we will freely provide data, you use it. And you can see this is officially NASA, and this is officially, you see what they say. They say that the objective of this site is to make NASA data accessible to whom? Application developers. And you see here, what you do is, first you go to this website and you generate a API key. Because if you don't generate API key, a demo key will come. Through demo key, you have limits. Every day, 4 times you can watch. Every day, in 1 hour, only 2 times you can watch. Like that, they have limits. You want to extend the limits and practice this, then you register yourself with your name and email. They will send a API key to your email. It's a free registration. They will send a API key, some 20-30 characters key will be there. What you have to do, use that key to access their data without restrictions much. So you register yourself with a key. Where to use the key, I will show you. We will see that. First, register yourself with key. After that, you go to browse APIs. You will see so many APIs are there. You see so many APIs are there. Asteroids, Earth, Mars rover photos. I will go to Mars rover photos. You see Mars rover photos, they given an URL. And when I click this URL, you see they return the data like this. And you see this is the data they have. And this is very complex data. You see what it is returning? What it is returning? It is returning an object. In that object, that means it is returning an object because it is this. In this object, there is a property called photos. Photos is what type? Array of, again, object. Array of object, and every object have an ID. That means this object is having photos, and photos is array. And every photo is an object. It is an array of objects again. It is an array of objects, and every photo have ID, sol, camera, and every photo is having a camera is again object again. This is very complex data. Now I want to use this data and create a good presentation for this NASA. Let's see how we can do this in our React. How do we get the data from these people and how do we create a presentation for their data? Let's see. First, copy this URL because that is the location from where data is coming. That is the API URL of NASA. Okay. Copy this URL, go to your project. Let's create a new component. I will give a component NASA and I will give nasa.jsx. Just nasa.jsx, export function NASA and return some div, a container, class container fluid. Now I want to display the data here. I will put a heading. So Mars rover photos. I'm just giving a heading Mars rover photos. And see here, below I want to display table. Because see, in their data they have lot of details. I don't want all, I want only few. I want only photo ID. I want the camera full name, photo ID, camera full name. Photo is image SRC and rover name. Rover means which rover took the photo. Rover name, some curiosity like this. So in my data, I want a photo ID and I want camera full name and I want rover name and I want what? Image. Only these details I want. Actually, it has a lot of more details like on which date it is landing, on which date it launched, is it still active or not. It is showing so many details. I don't want all of them, only few details we will pick up. Okay, let's do this. Copy this URL as I already copied. Now we will create a table and class. So we will put here class name, table, hover. These are bootstrap classes. And here I will give table have a t head, tr, th. First one is photo ID. Second one is actually this I will use with some class name BI key. Okay, that is the photo ID. Second class name BI camera. I will use camera and this is what? Camera name. Okay, then I want class BI BI have a rocket I will use rocket, and here I will give rover name, and another one is preview, bi and bi, so I, and here preview is the photo. Okay, and we will make this NASA in the startup, and you see the data is this. That means I added some headings. Below, I want the data coming from that website. NASA people are providing us some data. We need to show that. We need to display the data here. Let's make a call. How do we access this? So first, we need to collect the data coming from there. We will have a constant. I will create a Mars object. Why? Because the data that is returned from that URL is coming in the form of object. So object set Mars object, okay, is equal to use state. It is expected with object. Okay. In that object, there is a key called, what? Photos. Photos is what type? Array type. In that array, again, they have object. But up to array, you can hard code. That is enough. Actually, this also not required, but good. That means in the object, you are expecting a collection called photos. Okay. Next, what you have to do? You have to write use effect. That means at the mount phase, we need to write the logic. So directly you can write here. So what is it? Axios dot what? Get from where? Get from this URL. Paste that URL. Paste the URL that you have copied. And one thing you have to do, remove this demo key and paste the key that comes in your email. As of now, I am using demo key. I said you register. When you register, they will send a key to your email. Copy that key. It is a 30-40 character code. Paste that key here. With demo key also you can try, but after making request 2-3 times, it will say you crossed the limit. Please register. So already you have registered and you have a key. If you put that key, then they will give you more access, right? As of now, it's okay. I'm taking that demo key only. And after that, what? Then we know that it will get what? Response. The response data we will set in Mars object is what? Response dot what? Data. So data is ready. Now this Mars object we need to access and display in table body. T body. In the table body, we need to put a binding expression. What is the collection? Mars object dot what? Photos. Photos is an array. In that array, we have to perform what? Map. So read every item. For every item, I need to generate a row. And this row needs a key. Key I will use as item dot id. Item dot id is nothing but this id. Remember, the key names you have to use exactly how they have in the data. Any capitalization problem, it will not work because JSON is case sensitive. You have to exactly use the keys in the same way. Okay, ID we are accessing. Okay, in the first cell, what to display? In the first cell, we have to display the ID item dot ID. Okay, in the second cell, what to display? In the second cell, we want to display the camera name. Camera name is accessed like this. This is one item. In that item, there is a object camera. In that camera, there is a property called full underscore name. So how do we do that? Item dot camera dot full underscore name. Okay. After that, rover name. Rover name, you can see it is in rover object and rover have a just name. That means what we will do, item dot what? Rover dot what? Name. Okay. Next, we want a photo. And photo means we need an image. What is the image source? Image source is coming dynamically from this img src. So what we have to do, item dot what? img src. So width is some 100 and height also as 100. And you see now the data is available here. This is all the NASA data. That means we are accessing the NASA data, their photos, and we are displaying. This is all the data coming from their website. And I am displaying in a tabular form. But usually we have different requirements. Sometimes they ask like, I don't want like a table, I want like a card. You learned card designs na in HTML. So you can design like a card. You can present like different ways. I'm just using table. You can implement a lot of things. For example, I want this photo clickable. And when I click the photo, it should open full. How it is possible? There is nothing special. How you make this photo clickable? To make this photo clickable, you can enclose that in an anchor. You can enclose that in an anchor. And this anchor will have href. Href will be same. What is it? Item dot what? Image source. That means what will happen? This photo is clickable now. And when I click the photo, then it opens the photo full screen and shows. And I want it to open in a separate screen. If I want it to open on a separate screen, you know what to do. Target. Target as what? Underscore blank. That will open in a new screen. And you click on this, it should open in a new screen. That depends on how you want to design. This time, we don't have any hard-coded data. We are bringing data from a live API. We are bringing data from NASA website and we are using this. But remember, they provide only data. When you go to interviews, what they ask? They ask like, this is our URL. From this URL, data will come. You show the data and create all the filters here. That means they will ask like, put a up arrow, down arrow, and when user clicks, it should sort according to rover name. Sort ascending, sort descending. They will ask you like, put a drop down here so that I can select a camera name. Only that camera photos should come. And they will ask like, put a search bar so that user can enter any date or user can enter any name. That matching data should display. And for that, they will have data only one. You have to design all the queries. That means in the database, data is only one. Your queries should be in such a way that they filter the data, sort the data and display. That's what your job is. As a React developer, what is your job? Not just presenting the data, creating interactions with data. That means user can filter, user can sort, user can find. I want pagination. Per page only 10 records must come. I need all type of functionalities. That's what React developer has to do. So we are just learning first how to bring the data and show it. And this I presented in which format? In a tabular. This time we are accessing data from, this is another example. The official website is api.nasa.gov. You visit the website. So here you will get so many API keys. You use any API key, you will see data. And remember, every time data is not object. Sometimes data will be array. Sometimes data will be only one object. Sometimes data is object of array. It is having so many types. So Mars rover photos, it is returning like an object. It have a property called photos and we are accessing them. And this is example. So nasa.what.jsx. I will copy this example. This is the example of fetching the data from a live API and using it. Now, To create interactions, we need to learn some more techniques. Means presentation, as I told you, we can change presentation accordingly. Suppose see, this time I am not using table form. I will remove the table. I will create some main. In the main, I want to display like cards. That means for main, we will use what? We will use dflex, class name as dflex. Display flex, we will use what? Flex wrap. In this, we will create here in the main, we will access Mars object dot what? Photos dot map. We read every item. For every item, we will create a div. For every item, we will create a div. This div will have a key. And what is the key? Item dot what? ID. And this div, I will put like a class called card. Margin 2, padding 2. You know, Bootstrap have card styles. Huh? In this, I will put an image at the top. Image source is coming from, what is it? Item dot what? img src, and class as card image top. Card image top. And for every card, we will put some width. Suppose temporarily W25 I given. Card width is defined in this way. And image have some height. Height as suppose 100 pixels. Okay, after that we have a class card header. In the card header, I want photo ID. That means I will put a class heading 3 style. How do we get that? Item dot what? ID. I have another one is class card body. In the card body, I want to display a data list. In the data list, we want data term. Here I want camera name. How to get the camera name? We have to display here. What is it? Item dot what? Camera dot what? Full underscore what? Name. I want rover name. Rover name. And how do we display that? So item dot what? Rover dot what? Name. And you can see this time data is presented in a card style. We are not showing in a tabular form. This time it is in a card style. The presentation depends on your knowledge of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap and all. How you present, that's your knowledge. You know HTML, you know CSS, you know about Bootstrap, you present in different ways. And by using this technique, we can do presentation like cards and all. This is a card style design. The same data I am presenting in two formats. What are those two formats? One is tabular format, and this is the same one. This is what style? Cards. That is nasa.what.jsx. This is cards. So you have to try these two. Now we will learn how to create interactions with the data. Interaction means filtering, sorting, searching, how we can do. We will take another example of some real-time data and we will implement that example on that. We will see another real-time data. Online, there are so many APIs. I will show you free APIs list. You can go anywhere and get any API and you can access that and you can present the data. We will learn how to do that. That we'll see in next session. So first you try up to this. Then in tomorrow's session, we will see how to design interactions with the data. For that, we need to learn some more concepts. In the next session, we are going to do that. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay, right.